I'm Carla. I'm with Gillette Children's in the Child Life Department, and we are here at a local firehouse in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is Kate, one of the firefighters here at St. Paul Firehouse.
Hi, I'm Kate Heckerman. I am a fire captain and EMS coordinator in the A shift. I've been helping set up the Gillette Children's Carnival for the last 8 to 10 years, but it's been around for over 50 years, sponsored by Local 21 St. Paul Firefighters. Also, can't help but not introduce Tanya here. She is the St. Paul Fire K9. She is our facility dog that's been working with us since October, so she's gonna come help me show you guys what it's like to be at the fire station.
Nice, let's go. So we're inside of the fire station today, and behind us is the headquarters entranceway, and there's some really awesome photos on the wall. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about what this fire area and all the pictures kind of represent?
Yeah, so in the fire service, we're very rich in our history and the culture of the fire service. We do things nowadays that somebody did for back in the day, and this area has a lot of our history. So the inception of the fire department, along with some of the biggest fires kind of in history making things that have happened over the last 100+ years. For example, we have tones that go off every morning, and they initially were there to help feed the horses and some of the other stuff. And now it's, culture so inbred at what we do that they stay there, and that we still have our tones at 7 a.m. and we have tones at 8 a.m. So we work 24 hours a day, and we have 3 shifts. We have A, B, and C shift, and it rotates. We work, so like this segment, I'm gonna work Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. And I have 24 hours on, 24 hours off. So sometimes we get to sleep at work, but a lot of times we don't. It's interrupted sleep. It's not the same kind of sleep you go when you get at home.
So you guys are here for 24 hours. So during that time, do you cook meals together? And then you said it's kind of interrupted sleep, but do you all have bedrooms that you can sleep at?
Yeah, so every station's a little differently. This being one of our newest stations is a little bit more set up where everybody has their own individual room. But you share your room with people on the opposite shift. So every morning you go up to your room, you take your bedding out of your locker, and you make your bed. That's like the other thing, you switch your gear off the rig, but we also then make our beds, and we go out, we have morning chores just like people are at home. But let's do that. Let me show you what the kitchen's like and kind of what most of the station's like. Let's go. Perfect. Tanya, let's go. So this is the kitchen area of the fire station. So every one of our stations has a kitchen area for the firefighters to gather and eat. This is where, a lot of interaction happens. The bulk of our fire station interaction is at this kitchen table. There's actually articles out there about the kitchen table in the fire service. It's instrumental in learning from other people, connecting with each other. So this is instrumental in what we do.
It's probably like being in a family and just sitting at the kitchen table, having evening dinners together and talking about the day and how things went.
Yes, and it is, but just think about the types of calls we go on and the knowledge that we pass on to one another.
So when you cook meals in the kitchen, how many people are you usually cooking for at one time?
It depends on the size of the station. We're in one of the larger stations in the city, so we have anywhere from 11 to 12 eaters that we all throw our money in, and somebody stands or volunteers to cook. So they collect all the money, go to the grocery store, and kind of make a meal for 12 people. We have a couple stations that only have 4 people, so you're cooking for a normal sized family, or you cook for a station with 12+ people. So it really changes the dynamics there, and then you have to be thoughtful in what you're making because you never know what the day brings. So if you're planning this long, extravagant meal, you may get interrupted all day long. As you look around, there's nobody here because both companies are out on calls right now. So they're not available to be chopping vegetables and doing all the prep work. So people often start cooking dinner early in the day and have a lot of crock pot meals and things that they can have ready to go for somebody else to throw in or check on. Our particular station, we sit down, we enjoy our meal together, and then after meal we play a card game to see who has to do dishes. But yeah, it's amazing how much laughter can come out of such a simple game because there's a lot riding on the line.
Right.
There's dishes.
You gotta do dishes.
Or imagine sweeping and mopping this area. This is
it's huge.
just putting our gear on, we'll start sweating, and so we just have to make sure hydration is super important and how we fuel our body. When we cook together as a group in a club, we try to be more conscious about our health and what we're putting into our body so that we can be there to serve the community. And then we have a gym up there. This is a job that is physically demanding, so staying in shape and healthy is super important for not only your physical health, but your mental health.
So how long does it take to become a firefighter? What do you have to go through? I know there's the fire academy. Do you have to do some prep work, like college courses to go into the fire academy, or how do you go about doing that?
Those are great questions. So requirements for getting on the fire department, you have to be 18 years of age. You have to have a high school diploma or a GED. And then for the city of St. Paul, you have to be an EMT. Those are the only requirements. Obviously, other skill sets and certificates get you, look better on a resume, but to actually start an academy. And then from there, we have a full fire academy where you will learn Fire 1, Fire 2, and Hazmat in your academy. They range in length from 13 to 16 weeks in length.
Going back and thinking, like, what was the hardest, most challenging test or skill that you had to learn, or things that you had to go through to kind of pass the academy?
So I would say it's the accumulation of the fire academy that's intense. So at the time I went through the academy, my twins were just under 2, and then I had a 5-year-old. So just balancing going to work every day, physically exhausted. It was emotionally, mentally exhausting because it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And getting through every day and then coming home at night and having to study because you're in school. You're having to take tests every day or every week, and you're never alone in this job, right?
Okay.
You are with a crew. There is a crew today, the engine has 4 people on it. So there's a captain, a promoted driver, FEO, and then you'll have 2 firefighters in the back. So they're not alone. There is a standard called 2 in, 2 out. So like you can't make entry in a home unless you have 2 backup people on the outside. So yeah, there's a safety component in there about, this is definitely a job you don't do, this is a job you do not do alone, so.
Very nice. Should we go see some of the fire
Sure,
trucks?
sounds great.
Perfect. Wow.
So what we're about to do, we have 2 brand new firefighters. It's their first day on the street. They just spent, was it 13 or 14 weeks in the academy? 13 weeks.
Wow.
One of their tests in the academy is you have to be able to get your gear on in 60 seconds for just your gear, your PPE, and then we have PPE and your SCBA that you have 90 seconds. So these firefighters have volunteered to show us how quick all the skills they learned in the academy, have a little fun competition, see who's gonna be the fastest,
All right, let's do it.
Little pride on the line to see who's gonna win.
Should we get that alarm clock out?
Yeah, maybe we should do a little time test.
Test them, see how long it takes. Now, if I was going to get dressed in this whole outfit, it would probably take me a good 5 minutes to figure it out.
Yeah, well, there's a little practice you first learn in the when you're first getting exposed to it, it's just getting comfortable in the equipment.
Okay.
And then you actually learn your skill set on where you're going to set things up in the rig and how fast you can do it.
Okay.
So now we're going to get our little friendly competition underway. We're going to see. Oh, he's ready. He's
psyched up. Okay, really quick. How much does your helmet weigh? It's not that heavy? Okay.
All of the equipment together is about 50.
Oh, that's not too bad. I was thinking it was a lot heavier than that.
50 to 60 pounds with everything, and your air pack is like 25 pounds. So all together, you carry this, plus you add a light water and hose, and it gets pretty heavy.
Okay.
So
you've got your pants and shoes all together in one.
Yep.
Jacket, helmet, gloves.
Yep.
All right.
So we'll do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Okay.
Woo!
3, 2, 1, go. Uh-oh, off to a rough start.
Uh-oh, let's see.
Oh, cool, calm, and collected over here.
Oh, he didn't put all his hood on the way. He did. Okay, let's see. This is...
Uh-oh.
Strap broke.
We can work through, adapt and overcome.
Adapt and overcome, I love it. That is really fast. They're doing pretty good. their gear on the same way, in the same order.
Yeah, we kind of all figured out that it
That's the
goes on a
fastest
certain
way.
way. Oh, finish up. Finish strong, finish strong.
You've got it, keep going. You guys rocked it.
Nice.
Thanks for showing us.
So we have on both sides lines that are already connected to a water source. So we have a tank of water in the engine already. And we pull these lines and we have a limited amount of water that we can go ahead and apply immediately when we need to. So that would be these lines.
Buildings. So we have a lot of houses off of Summit and kind of some of those areas where the house is super deep set, where we need more hose to get to the structure.
Okay.
And so this allows us to pull off and have a little bit more length in our hose. Also, there's 2.5-inch hose here if we have a much bigger fire. So if we have a fully engulfed home or a really large garage fire that's maybe extending to multiple houses, we need more water. So we have special hose here that when we start talking about things getting really, really heavy,
Right.
if they have to go to the,
See how heavy it is?
some of these buildings are 20, 30 floors high, and if the elevators aren't working, they may be carrying all of this, and there's 4 sections that you need to bring up. It all adds up. So you end up having, between your gear and stuff, you probably have 100+ pounds that you're carrying around with you, and then potentially going up. The elevators don't last long if there's actually a fire going on, and so crews have to go up the 10 floors, the 20 floors, multiple times, depending upon what's going on. So this is a fire engine.
Okay.
So the engine company, their main task at a fire is to pull the hose out and put the actual fire out, put the water on the fire.
Okay.
We can be versatile and kind of adjust what we're doing, but that's the main job that they do different. And then we don't have a ladder company here, but we do have, they're much bigger than this engine, and they have a giant ladder across the top. It's an aerial ladder that goes up to 100 feet up, so you can go up several stories into an apartment.
Okay. How many calls on average do you get in a 24-hour shift?
We have one company that's really, really busy. They do, their average last month was 17 a day. We have, but I would say the average is 10 to 12.
Okay.
But we're getting busier and busier. We're gonna hit probably 60,000 calls in the city by the end of the year.
I have to say, we've been watching Tanya. Tanya's been following you around in the Firehouse, and you talked about 60,000 calls. That's a lot of calls in a year. And so what do you use Tanya for, and how do you utilize Tanya day to day in the Firehouse with all the firefighters?
So Tanya has been with me since October. We got her from Helping Paws. So she was trained with them for about 2.5, just under 3 years with a foster home. My main goal when we started the program with having Tanya was to be present in the stations for the amount of critical incidences that we go on. So just the stress of being at this job 24 hours a day, sleepless nights, we go when somebody's having a bad day. And so because of that, we're looking at how can we do things differently and how can we address mental health differently. And this being a stressful job after going through a pandemic and civil unrest and just some of the trauma that our city has faced in the last couple of years, one of the biggest goals I have with her is actually just breaking the stigma of mental health and just treating it like it is normal, that most people have some struggle with mental health in somebody in their family or one of their loved ones, and just to normalize it, that it's okay to ask for help. So she opens the door for conversations.
Right.
And so I have a conversation about mental health every day since I've had her, every single day since October. And then lastly, she's having an impact in the community. Present with somebody that, is having the worst day of their life potentially, and she's been able there to just, take a moment to help that person take a breath and just kind of help calm them and kind of talk, especially when it's been just a tragic day.
Right.
So she's making such an impact I can't even describe. Well, it's great that you're able to come out today so we can kind of show the kids what it's like to be in a fire station.
Yes, thank you so much. It was so great that we could show the fire station to all the kids at Gillette, and you were a great leader showing us everything here at Local 21. And thanks you guys for joining us on this video and coming out and seeing the fire station with us.
Have a great day.